Welcome to the Devil's Digest recap of the Maui Invitational. Arizona State finished as the runner-up of this tournament, going 2-1, losing to USC earlier today, 88 to 75. My name is Justin Lacertosa, alongside publisher Hunter Bino. We'd like to shout out our sponsors, starting with Burrito Express and Santan Ford as well. And Hode, two early wins for ASU, but a disappointing loss today and definitely not a good game by any metric from ASU. But overall, what are your takeaways from the tournament as a whole?
Well, here's the thing, Justin. I think that fans really need to look at the glass half full over here. When the people were filling out their so-called preseason bingo cards, I don't think anybody had ASU playing in the championship of the Maui Invitational, and the fact that the loss to USC was in double digits and definitely displayed some issues with interior defense is definitely disappointing. But overall, I think that ASU was able to engineer their trademark halftime comebacks wins. Were able to display a lot of good play out of their guards, Masama Giap and Santi Tourette. I think also displayed some good moments at stretches over there. So I think there really is a lot of positives to take away from this trip. I know that their road game at Hawaii obviously wasn't part of this Maui Invitational, but I think that was a great job by Bobby Hurley to schedule the Rainbow Warriors last week so he can get used to the time difference. And that was a hard fought battle also against Hawaii, but I think it really maybe built up the character and not only had the team adjusted to playing in Hawaii, but also just build up some character because that was a hard fought win and did carry some good momentum into their wins over Texas and over Washington State. So there definitely are a lot of positives to take away from what we saw these last 3 days. Again, I know that the loss to USC was not a close loss, and really was a game that was dominated by the Trojans in the second half after it was tied at halftime. But overall, I think there definitely is a lot of positives to take away, and I think we're just viewing this team in a whole different lens because, again, thinking that this team could be 6-2 after their first 8 non-conference games with so many new pieces in the team, so many question marks. I think that's really a remarkable job by the coaching staff and the players.
Yeah, and even though ASU didn't come out on top in this tournament, the Sun Devils still surprised some people winning those first two games. However, there's still some work that needs to be done if they want to improve going into the rest of this non-conference slate and Big 12 play. So, what do you think are those aspects that the Sun Devils can improve upon as the season continues to go on?
Well, first of all, let's talk about a little about the positives, and I think Mo Odom has definitely introduced himself to the world of college basketball. Up until the Maui Invitational, ASU fans were well aware that this is one very, very special point guard. I said the other day that I think he's second only to Remy Martin as far as the best point guard that Bobby Hurley has recruited in his tenure at ASU. And even though Mo Odom's tenure at ASU is going to be much shorter than Remy Martin, I think you could almost put him at the same level if it continues in the pace that is continuing right now. Just the Maui Invitational itself, Mo Odom averaged 26 points and 4 assists over those 3 games. Obviously, had a huge game against Texas, scoring 36 points, and that was really, just the arrival moment, if you will. Then in a win against Washington State, scores 26 points, and you see what an offensive force he is. He still wasn't slacking on his assist by any means, but I think it's just very interesting that Mo Odom just came here with the calling card, if you will, of being a great passer, averaged over 7 assists last year at Pepperdine, and really somebody that could be quite the floor leader. And while he's still displaying those traits plentiful, he's just an absolute go-to scorer for ASU. And I think that him and his confidence has only grown that much more from the Maui Invitational. And again, he already came in, I thought, with a lot of momentum, no pun intended. But I think that ASU has to be very, very pleased that this is going to be your floor general night in and night out. Anthony Pig Johnson, the guard from the NIA level, is proven that even when you're coming from a level of play that is, on paper so inferior to the two power conference play, you can definitely hold your own. Pig Johnson also with a solid Maui Invitational, averaged 15 points. You just love the fact that he is a fearless player, just drives to the basket time and time again, and does well at the free throw line. Just today against USC, even though it was a losing effort, but he goes 9 and 10 from the charity stripe. And he's somebody that just brings a lot of energy off the bench. If he continues this way, I think he's going to be a legitimate candidate for sixth man of the year even in the deep conference like the Big 12. And we said I think in months past that the fact that junior college guard VJ Wallace did go down with an unfortunate lower leg injury and is gone for the season. It was important for Anthony Pig Johnson to step up, and I think that he has done a great job, even in the games before the road game at Hawaii and the Maui Invitational. So that's something that has been very, very pleasing to see. Masampa Giap, the 7-1 center for Arizona State, has had a pretty good tournament himself, scoring in double digits in two of the three games. Contributing on the boards, contributing with his blocks, and just continuing to be just a very, very intriguing player for the Sun Devils. We saw some good stretches from Bryce Ford, from Santi Tourette. So overall, I mean, you're seeing a very, very good team that, even though there's so many new pieces, 14 new scholarship players, I think they have come together and developed some chemistry and cohesiveness, maybe quicker than people anticipated, displaying more times than not a very, very high basketball IQ. We're not seeing too many glaring defensive lapses. We're not seeing too many bad shot selections. So a lot of positives to take away. But I think that one thing that is concerning is that as much length as this team does have, I believe it's 6 players on the roster who stand 6'8" or taller. We're not seeing dominated rebounding performances. We're not seeing dominating performances in the block department. And today against USC, who definitely had a more talented front court than Texas, than Washington State, giving up offensive rebounds, giving up second chance points were definitely an issue for ASU. So that's something to look out for, because if today was some kind of litmus test of how ASU would do against Big 12 opponents, then obviously it's a test that they really did not pass with flying colors by any means. So I think being more physical and maybe just employing a better scheme when it comes to securing rebounds is definitely something that ASU will need to work on, because I would say USC might be middle of the pack, maybe trending a little towards the upper echelon of the Big 12. So this is what ASU can look forward to when conference play begins in January. But even against USC, I think they're able to hold their own for the first half. Granted, the Trojans were missing their leading scorer, Rodney Rice, and maybe if he does play, this game is not even close in the first half, let alone the second half. But overall, I think that's really the biggest thing that they need to work on, is just their interior defense, really limiting offensive rebounds, limiting second chance points. But overall, I think there's a lot to be pleased by the guard play, by some of the players off the bench. And again, being the runner-up of the Maui Invitational, being 6-2 this juncture of the non-conference, there's absolutely nothing for the Sun Devils to be ashamed of. And I think that this team continues to be surprising, continues to be very, very intriguing, and we'll see how they do the rest of the non-conference. There are some challenges, maybe some easier games down the road, but I think this team has positioned itself to go into Big 12 play in January with some good momentum.
Well, thank you, Hood, for your insight. Next up on the schedule for ASU, a little break until December 6th, when they're back in Phoenix to take on Oklahoma at the Morganton Matchup Center for the Jerry Colangelo Classic against OU. So that's going to be a big test for Arizona State once again, and we'll be there with all the coverage. So as always, for publisher Hunter Bino, I'm Justin Lacertoso. We'd like to thank our sponsors once again, and Burrito Express and Santan Ford, and we'll talk to you guys soon.